Thank God that's where that went instead of, like, circumcised.
Just have a bris.
You're listening to Diminishing Returns, the podcast about sequels, prequels, spin-offs, and reboots. I'm Chris Scott, and across from me on my computer is the man who's always been distant. It's my co-host, Mr. Alan Johnson.
How do pod people?
That's right, baby. We are back. And all it took was for there to be absolutely nothing else to do. That's how much we love podcasting. It was once there were no other options available, we got the band back together. If you're a loyal listener, you'll know it's been like 5 months, do we think? 6 months since we've done an episode?
Yeah, pre-Christmas.
Before Christmas. People surprisingly have been asking what's been happening.
Yep.
Alan, I can only assume you've got a divorce.
No.
You've had a breakdown because you're about to get a divorce.
No.
You are trying to stop the divorce that's surely about to happen.
I mean, I threatened to turn into Jack Torrance week 1, but it's all been smooth sailing since then.
Nice. So, no, why have the listeners not heard from us?
I mean, it's a really boring story, but basically, obviously, my previous career, I was the least rock and roll roadie in the world.
This is true.
And so, pretty much all of my adult life, I was doing a job that didn't require much from me, apart from that I made sure a drum kit didn't fall over. Truth be told, pretty easy.
They have their own little wee stand things.
They do. I mean, it's almost like they're designed to not fall over. But now, obviously, having left that life behind, I have a real job, and my real job has become more and more of an actual job. And I just was utterly fatigued and burnt out before Christmas, because we had plans to record like a Last Jedi episode, and then we were just going to roll into the new year and a new schedule. But basically, by the time that I had Return to Oz out, just everything in my actual boring day-to-day just got on top of me, and I was like, I'm taking Christmas off.
I think that's important to listeners to hear, that I'm sure they have got work stresses and things in their life, and it's okay if you need time to take that time. Hey Al, how many days a week do you work at your job?
I work 3 days a week.
Yeah, go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. Every single person that's listening right now fucking hates you. And as they fucking should, your 3 day a week fucking job, your three days out of the 5 working days, honestly, bite my fucking banger.
But that's the thing, my 3 days occupied 7 days a week for me. I had to write, I basically had to write a coursework.
No one gives a fuck about your problems. The listener does not care. Okay, listen, Al, I think that is the least sympathetic anyone will ever be to you. That you can handle your 3 day job.
I told everybody it was a really boring, shitty story. Just poor me, suddenly had a job with responsibilities which I've never had previously in my adult life. So, sorry, I guess.
Yeah, you should be sorry. Okay, so Alan couldn't nut up. That's why we didn't bring in any of our classic entertainment listeners. That's for our crazy fans, our devoted listenership will have been worried.
I don't know what the collective noun of our fan base is.
Returners? No, that isn't right.
The Dims?
Some of the emails we get, I'm not going to lie. That would fucking fit. So listen, if you're a new listener, which why would you be? But we welcome you to the Coven. This is a podcast about sequels, prequels, spin-offs and reboots. Loosely. Let's be honest. But basically we like talking about films and stuff because we are but 2 middle-aged white men. If you know 2 middle-aged white men, they have a podcast about films.
Inevitably.
I, of course, have been managing to do everything with my 5 days a week job, plus other burgeoning entertainment options. Let's not make this all about how I am excellent at everything. Obviously, this is going to be a bit weird. I'm not going to lie. This is the first time we've never not been in the same room recording an episode.
Can't believe I can't just reach out and touch you, Chris.
It's the one good thing is he's not sexually abusing me. When he said he wanted this podcast to be like the Nerdist, he wanted to be the new Chris Hardwick, I thought he meant that we'd be very successful, but evidently he meant other stuff. No, listen, this is going to be a bit weird for us, possibly. I'm already thinking I might have came in a little hot, like a little loud, because I feel I need to shout across Glasgow at you, Alan. Yeah, so I'm not going to lie, I'm already kind of enjoying this because what usually has to happen is I have to leave my work, which is usually, hear me out, 5 days out of 7, come to Shea Johnson, which does sound like the best bordello you've ever heard. Shay Johnson. I have to go to your house, we have to go to your basement, and we have to record. It takes ages, and then I have to go home and I make myself something to eat or whatever. I've had the whole evening to myself. This could be the future. If this works out, we may never have to be in the same room again. I think for both of us that would be quite beautiful. But so let's just see how this goes. If it's fucking shite, there's a pandemic going on, go fuck yourselves. So what we normally do is we have episodes that are us going through like a film or a series of film. Those are our franchise episodes. And then we have our kind of in-between non-franchise episodes where we just talk about like news, trailers, whatever the fuck we want. None of that stuff has been happening due to the lockdown. So Alan, I mean, normally we start with news. What we do?
You may have heard. There's fuck all happening. Two stories, basically. One is that Russian Doll co-creator and showrunner Leslie Headland is reportedly developing a Star Wars series at Disney+. Now, obviously, everything is going on. Who knows when that's going to happen, if it's even going to happen. But it sounds exciting because Russian Doll was brilliant and, you know, Disney have all the money in the world.
We should be clear, she was the creator of the TV show Russian Doll.
Yes.
You know, not the actual things. The wee dolls that go inside.
Not nesting dogs.
Yeah. Russian Doll was great. One of my favourite shows of last year. That all sounds good. We haven't, this is how long ago this is, we haven't even talked about the rise of Skywalker, which I think we can all agree was the perfect way to end the Skywalker saga. It was perfect and really just made you go, oh, that everything had a plan and made sense. Well done. I really need something to make me love Star Wars again because that ruined it.
Weird that at the end of last year we got The Mandalorian and Rise of Skywalker, and Mandalorian is a win and Rise of Skywalker was so bad and so frustrating.
It's old news now, but Rise of Skywalker was fucking terrible. So hopefully the lassie that created Russian Doll will make something that's good like Russian Doll was. So that's cool. That's some extra Star Wars news. A franchise, let's be clear, on the bubble with the big man at the moment.
Yeah.
A lifetime of loving that. And is there going to become a time now when the next Star Wars thing comes out and I go, I'm not that bothered. Oof. God is dead, said Nietzsche. This is very much a similar thing. Though if Nietzsche was writing a script for J.J. Abrams, actually God would be revealed to not be dead. It'd be like the dead speaks and then actually God's back again for reasons that no one cares about. Yep. Good to know that the Emperor fucks. Great. Glad that's where we went with that one, boys. But listen, let's not fight over how terrible and insulting a film Rise of Skywalker was. Cool. That's one bit of franchising news. You've done well. I'm not going to hold you to your usual standards because there's not a lot happening. Yep. You've got away with that. All right. What's next?
Well, the only other news I could dig up was that potentially Bad Boys for Life will win all the Oscars.
What are you going to do?
Because it's one of the only films that's come out this year.
Right.
It's that and the computer animated dog film with Harrison Ford. I mean, that's your Oscar contenders.
I have not seen Bad Boys for Life, but I've heard it's good. And I expect it to be rush released on video on demand at any point soon so I can watch it. I'm down. It looked alright. It looked quite fun.
I thought the trailer looked good, and then I heard a particularly devastating review of it that made me think I'm just going to give it a miss.
So, Bad Boys, okay. I read, rarely, as you know, if you listen to the show, I do no research for this show. I treat this with the contempt it deserves. I did read on Twitter.com from the Variety account, which I can only assume is at Variety, that it was a thing about how all the movies are obviously being shut down. How are they going to try and get production back up? There was a huge big thing about how they were going to film a sequence of the next Mission Impossible film in Italy, and obviously it's not happening. And now they're like, I don't know if we can go to Italy.
Yeah.
And that has a knock-on effect. I mean, obviously, it's easy for people to think and go, well, who cares about fucking films? You know, who cares about these sort of fripperies of life when it's life and death? But there's a knock-on effect to all of these things. You know, your film stars pay for the crew, and that crew then can afford to go for their shopping that week, and they keep shops open and bars and restaurants, and there's a whole ecosystem around Hollywood. And if these films don't get made, genuinely you could have a really awful set of affairs where me and Alan have very little to talk about next time. That is the real problem. I think one of the production houses or something was saying they're already expanding their back backlot because they're like, we're not going to be as ready to fly people about different places. So I wonder if things going to just look really cheap and shitty for a bit.
Yeah, just like a million different versions of Waiting for Godot, a cast of 2 and a tree. That's all you need.
All right, yeah. Someone's got some classy references, Alan. All right. Okay. Good for you.
I don't know about you, but I watched a lot of Frasier.
Most of my clever references are from The Simpsons.
Yeah.
You know, Sword
yeah.
of Damocles, My Dinner with Andre, and people are like, oh, yeah, this guy's quite smart. And I'm like, nah, I just watched a lot of Simpsons.
Yeah.
I believe, is that it then for our news?
Yeah.
I'm frankly just fucking excited to excited is a strong word. Let's just roll that back. I'm bereft of ideas of what else the fuck we're going to talk about. So, Alan, we've done the news. What's next, man?
I have prepared a list of things I have been watching and engaging with during this lockdown, and I thought it might just be fun to fire through just to give people more distractions.
Yeah, again, we're middle-aged white guys. We love telling people what to watch and do because we're the best at it, guys. All right, cool. Alan, you tell me what you've been watching, doing, whatever, and I will judge you accordingly and in an audible fashion for the listener. How's that? And then you can do the same for me. But let's be clear, everything I say will be top drawer.
So I thought this could be the time to get my son, who's 10, into James Bond. I stand by my position that From Russia with Love is the best Bond film, but I thought we'd start with Goldfinger, like memorable villain, the cool car, all that jazz.
Yeah.
And Elliot liked it, but he had issues with it. Naturally, he was very down on the flagrant misogyny.
Those are the best bits.
And he also was like, James Bond is rubbish at fighting in this film. that was the thing that really annoyed him.
I imagine if you've grown up like watching, I mean, I don't know what kids nowadays watch, but
well, he's watched Jackie Chan films with me, so he's up on his Jackie Chan.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Like the sort of movies I would have loved as a 10-year-old would have been like John Wick, The Raid, you know. And if you've watched shit like that, and then it's like, oh, here's a drunk guy punching the air in front of some guy, and then he falls over, 2 seconds later in fake movie fight, just like two doughy men grappling. That's what fighting used to be. So yeah, I can maybe imagine that being a bit dated. So he likes them, but he's not crazy on them. Yeah,
watched a few of them. Watched Goldfinger, Thunderball, but then I thought I'd just skip a bunch, and we watched Goldeneye, and he seemed to quite like that.
How does Goldeneye hold up? Because obviously we have lived through so many of the, actually, now we're bringing Bond back, and we're bringing it back to basics. I think I've seen that at least 3 times now in my lifetime.
Yeah.
That, that cycle.
And, making Bond relevant again. In terms of like a movie, it's pretty good. It's a pretty convoluted plot. There's great stuff in it. Brosnan is good for the most part, but there is stuff in it when you're like, this is all leaning on the wrong stuff from Bond. Like Famke Janssen's character, like whatever her name is.
Xena Onatopp.
Yeah. Who's some kind of like weird sadomasochist who loves to get pleasure from causing pain and crushes people to death with her thighs. And you're like,
amazing.
Give your assassin some shtick, but does it have to be like she's a thigh crusher that loves the erotic pleasure of murder?
Right. This all sounds amazing, Alan. It's like a hot chick who fucking kills people by wrapping herself around them. What's there not to like about this?
I was quite pleased that he had kind of a good handle on like, that's daft, like I'm not interested in that.
Yeah.
But he really responded to the fact that Goldeneye was much more of a solid action movie that had like good fist fights and stuff. It had good levels of action movie bombast that kept him much more engaged, whereas watching Goldfinger was just a bit more of a kind of finding a curio for him.
When was Goldfinger out? 1960 something?
64, and Goldeneye is 95.
Cool. I would have been, I guess, about 15. Wonder why I can remember Famke Janssen's character's name. It's a beautiful thing. I mean, Bond, how can I put this? I haven't watched a lot of the Bonds apart from the newer ones recently. So obviously as a kid and stuff, I love the Bond movies. I know that, like, obviously James Bond is a misogynist and all that shit. I find it very hard to get upset about it because it happened in the past. I'm more upset at Sean Connery being a real life piece of shit.
Oh, yeah.
That to me I find distasteful, to put it mildly. Fucking deplorable. But the 60s were fucking sexist. And I can't not enjoy mad old things that are just mental now. However, I've not seen them recently, so I don't know, they might really drag.
It was cool. Like, Elliot was more like, well, I wouldn't behave like that.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
That's fine. Here's a hot take. For people like us and by that I mean arseholes, is the fact that Casino Royale was legitimately a fucking good film. Has that ruined other Bond films? I, of course, refer to the 1960s David Niven Casino Royale.
Well, that's a Woody Allen movie, so it's cancelled now.
Speaking of fucking dickheads, so there's the thing, right? Like, Casino Royale, Daniel Craig's first one, I remember seeing that and being like, fuck, that was great. Like, I did not expect that to be great, and it was fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
And basically every film since then has been a fucking disappointment. I have gone back and watched any of the other ones. I've only watched, since Casino Royale, I've only watched Quantum of Solace, Skyfall, and then Spectre, right? And I was disappointed by every one of them.
Yeah.
Increasingly so. But Spectre, other than that first scene with the Day of the Dead stuff, might be one of the worst films I've ever seen.
Just as a whole.
I fucking hated it, right? And that was made with a, top level director, film star, budget. It was really, and I was bored, and I fucking hate Spectre, which is why we should probably, maybe do a deep dive on it one time, just to try and get out of my system. But those dumb Pierce Brosnan ones, as it got more ridiculous after GoldenEye. Like, Ice
Hotel and Invisible Car.
Yeah, I did not hate those films because I expected nonsense, and nonsense was delivered. But since Casino Royale, I'm like, what's this dumb stuff? And particularly, you know what it is? I think it's because it's dumb stuff masquerading as not dumb stuff.
Yeah.
It thinks it's being brilliant, and that annoys me. Whereas at least your Pierce Brosnan and your Roger Moores, they were under no illusion that they were making, like a brilliant fucking gritty film. Whereas in Spectre, it was all filmed like you were meant to be going, holy shit, man, this is fucking cool. And it was like, no, this is dumb. Fuck you, Mendes. Alright, cool. So, you have forced your child to watch A Drunken Misogynist. I'm just upset it wasn't me. But you watched Bond with the fam. What else have you been watching, my man?
With Elliot on Disney Plus, we watched this cartoon series called Gravity Falls, which honestly was amazing.
I've heard a lot of people like you say it's great, yeah.
Brilliant. It was like Twin Peaks for 10-year-olds.
I mean, I take slight exception there because when I was 10 I watched Twin Peaks, but that's,
okay.
Just fucking sit your kid down, get him to watch Blue Velvet, explain about Frank, see what happens. Listen, I was exposed to lots of adult themes and stuff as a child, and look at me now. I have a podcast with you, so judgments, right? Yeah. I mean, that sounds great. I will never watch it because I'm an adult, but
you're lost, mate.
Caveat, if I end up siring some bastard child, then perhaps me and the bastard will sit and watch it. Anything else?
I've been listening to a podcast.
What are they?
The team that do Criminal. I don't know if anyone listens to that. I'm now doing this other podcast because obviously everybody just has time and need to put their energy somewhere. So it's a podcast called Phoebe Reads a Mystery. And so the host of Criminal is just reading famous mystery books. So it's basically just an audiobook.
No.
So we've had Mysterious Affair at Styles by Agatha Christie, then Hound of the Baskervilles by Arthur Conan Doyle, and we're now on Wilkie Collins' Moonstone. So Phoebe Reads a Mystery. It's just classic crime read to you by a pleasing podcast voice.
Right, so it sounds like Alan's been jerking off to that. Cool.
While we're in that, I've also...
Are you going to tell me what you've been jerking off to?
Fuck, about near as damn it. So, in terms of things that I've watched that I've maybe missed in the past, are you a fan of Janelle Monáe?
I'm aware of Janelle Monáe. I've heard a couple of songs that I've always been, sounds alright.
Maybe this is your way in. So, her last album, Dirty Computer, which came out in 2018, I think, and she released a long-form video thing with that, and it's called Dirty Computer Emotion Picture, and it's basically a sci-fi movie, but with all the musical numbers peppered throughout, and so Tessa Thompson's in it. The sci-fi thing's a really weird framing device. The album seems to be her working through her non-binary lifestyle. Music's amazing and the visuals are amazing. It's really bizarre, like sci-fi.
In a very different vibe as the kind of country singer Sturgill Simpson, when his new album came out, released an anime.
What?
On Netflix, yeah. And I've got the album and I've seen Sturgill Simpson.
Right.
I still haven't watched the anime because it's a cartoon and I'm an adult, but I probably will, just because I really like Sturgill Simpson. But I like the madness of, I'm going to make a weird thing to go with my album. Yeah, okay. So Janelle Monáe, Dirty Computer is called?
Dirty Computer, the emotion picture. You like that little pun there?
All right, okay. I'm not a fan anymore.
I don't know how many Schwarzenegger fans are in the house, in the Jesus, but I watched Commando. It was overdue a rewatch for me.
I did it about a year ago and it was still great.
Brilliant,
Still great.
just ludicrous, bonkers nonsense. So after watching that, I was like, what to watch next? And I watched End of Days from 1999.
Gabriel Byrne is Satan.
Gabriel Byrne is possessed by Satan, yes, and just going about like sexually assaulting people. Really bizarre.
I remember watching it and thinking bits of this are quite good, but didn't really all hang together.
Yeah, that's a shame of it, is it doesn't know what it wants to be. It would like to be a sort of Seven era gritty thriller.
Gritty, yeah.
But at the same time, it's trying to be like a pre-apocalypse horror movie, and those two things don't always hang together. But Schwarzenegger's pretty good in it, and just in terms of watching sort of end of the world type cinema while we potentially sit in a world-ending pandemic, it was like a mildly enjoyable, weird movie to go back to. I also watched The Last Stand on Netflix.
Is that any good?
It's worth your time if you're just looking for late period Schwarzenegger action movie.
Yeah, it's alright.
Yeah.
Listen, he was in Terminator 2, Commando, Predator, Total fucking Recall.
Kindergarten Cop.
Well, okay. Listen, the point is that those first films we mentioned up until Kindergarten Cop,
Conan the Barbarian.
I haven't seen that for years. I remember not being a fan, but I think that might be because it was just like, I just want to see Schwarzenegger just take out motherfuckers with machine guns, and this prick's got a sword.
I know.
Oh, what the hell's happening
That's
here?
really slowing his work rate down.
Yeah, you know what I mean? You got to fucking cut through motherfuckers. Just take an Uzi, you're done. So here's my pretentious thing. Action cinema is the purest form of cinema. Yeah,
Okay.
because it's the one thing that you cannot do anywhere else, really. You can read a book and a thriller, but action is hard to see. You're not going to enjoy like The Raid, the novelisation, right? Books, plays, comics, fucking podcasts. The only thing that can give you that visceral fucking like, holy shit, John Wick just fucking took that guy out with a book, right?
Showing once and for all what's better, action heroes or books.
Exactly. Did he read that book? No. He just fucking murdered the guy with it. I've got two reasons to have books in my house. One is to balance this laptop I'm speaking to you on. Two, to kill motherfuckers in case the Russian mob ever come after me. And that is why Arnold Schwarzenegger is better than Robert De Niro. And he just wrote he'd have hundreds of Oscars. I would like to thank the Academy. And then, you grow up and you're meant to fucking like Brokeback Mountain, right? Now, I've never seen Brokeback Mountain, okay? But I can't imagine that there's as much bleeding and pain in Brokeback Mountain as there is. Well, actually, but no. Right? The point is, here's my thing, right? You start watching films and you watch cool shit. Then you probably start to be like, I should watch some more like interesting stuff. And you watch like fucking Buddha Souffle or whatever the fuck it's called. Right? And you go, I fucking know. And you like pretend to like it because you think fucking like some chick in a polo neck will pump you or whatever. But some chick in a stripy shirt might touch your balls, right? And the point is, nothing's as good as a hardcore action movie. And Godard, Truffaut, and Ozu. I'm just saying they're not as cool as Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's one of the greats. We can all agree that Schwarzenegger is the best. Anything else you want to add to your
Just
list?
one last thing. I hope everyone has seen it, but loads of our plans got jettisoned when 3 days proved too difficult for me, and 3 days of the Condor.
Honestly, fuck off.
That's what my work life's like. I'm constantly evading death for 3 days.
Ah!
And pumping Faye Dunaway in the midst of it all.
Right?
Yeah, so, we were going to do our, 2019 roundup, talk about our favourite films. So we didn't get to speak about this at the time, but I've watched it again recently and love it. Knives Out.
Yeah, Knives Out is a film whose trailer made me think it was going to be shit, because it was a bit much. I thought the trailer was a bit much.
Really?
And it was a bit like, we're all going to be wacky, and wacky people are going to like this, and I'm going to have to get my knives out and stab them, because those people are pricks. However, fucking brilliant. Very good film. I obviously had this, when I was sitting down watching the cinema, I'd got myself a classic wee seat. I've got a new seating system that I'll explain to you in private. I'm not giving out the fucking gold to the rabble. A seating system that I kind of perfected that and now will not be able to use for forever, because then there's no cinemas left. But what have I done? Yes, so the actual film, really well done, really clever. Couple of great moments in it. Ducked where you thought it was going to dive, and you made you think it was going to go this way, then it went another way. Yeah, really enjoyed Knives Out. Victory for the bold Ryan over Abrams.
Yeah.
And there's talk of maybe doing another film with Benoit Blanc as the investigator.
Yeah. Don't know about you, but it made me think, how many films like that, how many really good films like that can you actually name?
Kind of whodunit-y kind of...
like whodunits that really keep you until the end when the mystery all unravels. Like, how many of those are there really?
Here's where we find out I've only ever seen one whodunit, and it's Knives Out. Name a bunch of them and I'll see if I've seen them.
You've got Cluedo, the movie, or Clue as it's known
Never
in
seen
the
it.
States. Have you seen Sleuth, the original with Olivier and Kane?
No.
Brilliant, really brilliant. Don't see the remake.
Not seen the original, not seen the remake.
So Sleuth's great, Clute's great. Murder by Death's pretty funny.
We're 0 for like 5 here.
Brick, of course, Ryan Johnson's previous movie, Brick.
If we're counting that as a whodunit?
Yeah.
Are we?
Oh, yeah.
All right, then I'm in. Love Brick. Brick's one of my favourite films.
What do you think about Death on the Nile or Evil Under the Sun?
Nope, not seen any of those.
Well, there's an amazing one with Christopher Reeve and Michael Caine called Death Trap. You seen that?
No.
It's a real, like, twisty thriller. It's really great.
All right, sounds good. I've seen 2 whodunits, both by the same guy.
We'll leave it there. That's fine. But yeah, Knives Out. It was great. Came along at the same time as Ready or Not, which was also pretty enjoyable. But Knives Out, I was like, oh, what a great film.
For once, I agree with you. That was a good film. Well done. Finally.
So you get anything that you've been filling out your quarantine hours with, Chris?
A little guy called Francis Ford Coppola, you may have heard of him, watched The Conversation. So I haven't seen The Conversation, I would say probably easily 20 years.
Wow.
I really dug it. I don't know if it's a masterpiece or anything, but I think Hackman's fucking brilliant. I just kind of kept going, man, he's fucking brilliant in things, isn't he? Like,
yeah.
Gene Hackman
Amazing.
is fucking brilliant in things.
Yeah.
Old Gene Hackman, he's like 44 in the film. They make a big deal because he gets his birthday card, right? And he's banging Terry Garr, and he's still a cunt. And like, he's a cunt at heart, ruins bumping Terry Garr, and then you're still on his side. It's like, that's how good an actor he is, because this guy's an asshole. So I really liked it. Good to see young Harrison Ford cast very well as a kind of young arsehole.
Yeah.
Conversation. Good little kind of dirty 70s thriller.
If you're going down that road, definitely De Palma's Blowout with young John Travolta.
Well, I was thinking, as I was watching, I was like, this is pretty much kind of a similar thing to Blowout, which I don't think I've ever seen.
Oh, really? Oh, Blowout's amazing.
So funnily enough, I was kind of on that already. Something I didn't think I would enjoy from the sounds of it, and actually was really well done. The Boys on Amazon.
Oh, really?
I thought it was going to be terrible.
A couple of people have recommended it to me. Well, let's just say that you're the first opinion that matters.
Oh, it's the only way. Generally, when I read about it and I heard about it and I'd seen a few reviews and I was like, ugh, this just sounds like it's just not going to be any good. And, you know, I've got nothing but time at the moment. And I stuck the first episode on and battled through it in less than a week.
Wow. Really
enjoyed it. Watched Sunderland Till I Die on Netflix. It's wonderful for me as a fan of a big football team to see little Diddy teams struggle. It's a beautiful thing. No, it's really good. I really enjoyed that. If you like football, even if you don't really care about Sunderland, I've got a maze of Sunderland fan, so it's quite fun for me to watch it. I was getting quite emotional at some bits at some of the things that happened to Sunderland Football Club. I was just like, a team that I have no connection with, somebody who loves football and hasn't been able to watch obviously a lot of football because there's no football happening.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, oh man, that's so fucking tough, because we've all been there as football fans, right? We've all had that heartbreak of stuff not working out, and that's what football is. That's what football do to you, to quote another podcast. And then I remembered that I've got a mate who actually supports that team, and I messaged him. Tony literally went, man, breakups, my fucking dad being ill, thinking he was going to die, didn't happen, thankfully, you know. All of these things pale in comparison to the hurt that I felt during that season. That's the worst year of my life. And I was like, yeah, like, I fucking get you, man. It was brilliant. So, if you like football at all, I think Something Till I Die is fucking great. I watched Devs, Alex Garland's Devs.
Oh, I'd like to see that. I've not got around to that yet.
Battled through it in the iPlayer. Despite the ending really didn't blow me away, it's still one of my favourite things I've seen this year. So, I'll check it out. Other than that, I would recommend Not Dying.
Let's not die. Everybody, just stay in your house.
I recommend doing what I've been doing. Living like a fucking boss. I've been watching TV. I've been watching films. I've been listening to music. I fucking gave myself a terrible mohawk. Haven't had a drink since before the lockdown.
Oh, really?
Kept my tempo clean. I'm reading books. Again, I've not read books for ages because I live a busy lifestyle. 5 days a week at work, plus entertainment legend on 3 different fronts, right?
I had a lot going on. I had a lot going on, Chris. I mean,
I'm just glad the listeners got to hear your terrible excuse. It's fine.
There's some personal issues in there that I don't feel this is the forum for, but, you know.
Listeners, we all know Al's going to get divorced. I'm surprised he ever got married, and now if he doesn't realise he's getting divorced, then, all I can say is wait till the next 6 months, because that's when it's going to really fucking hit. Alright, cool. So listen, I would recommend being like me, being a fucking legend in the lockdown. Or you could be like Alan and watch cartoons. Do what you're doing. I'm not your fucking dad. Assuming this all works out in the edit, we'll be back. We'll be doing some more stuff. We have plans.
Plans are afoot.
Shall we talk about this? Things might be happening. We might be rebranding. We might be doing some shit. But I think we're going to have more content. We're going to try and batter out as much as possible. But we're going to see how this goes. Hopefully this comes together in the edit like it is when we're together in the room. Like the Hall and Oates of podcasting. That's what we are. Like
the Simon and Simon. The Sapphire and Steel. The Tango and Cash.
The Rosolian Isles. Once we've figured out how easy this is for Alan to edit, we'll figure out a schedule. We'll start posting this again. But we're back. Sure, thousands of people have had to die for this to happen. But, finally, you, the listener, gets a little bit of sunshine in your life having me and Alan talking shit about movies. So I think we can all agree this has been a good thing.
Worth it.
This episode's been sponsored by COVID-19. Bye. Take some of that sweet Newman sauce.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think Paul Newman calls his cum Paul Newman sauce?
Not these days, no. More like a dried seasoning these days.
Paul Newman's herbs and spices. Yeah. I feel now I'm back in the saddle.